Ever since Astroworld, a lot of Travis Scott's biggest songs have had one thing in common: OZ's beats. OZ has produced hits for Travis like Sicko Mode, Highest in the Room, and most recently, Escape Plan. And after listening to OZ's beats on these 3 songs, I've noticed 3 main things that keep Travis Scott addicted to using his beats: bouncy drums, unique sound selection with analog synths and unique drums, and they all have a super trippy atmosphere. So now let's dive in and take a deeper look at the techniques that OZ uses to make hits for Travis Scott. If we listen to Escape Plan, we can hear a unique analog synth melody that was made by OZ's collaborator, Nick D. And this sets the foundation and vibe for the whole beat. And when Nick D broke down the loop, we can see that the first thing that he started with were these synth keys from his Prophet synth. So, to recreate the sound, I grabbed a real Prophet one-shot from the Synthopia one-shot kit, and I laid down this simple pattern. Bear with me, this is not sounding too good yet, but I'm going to show you how you can really level it up in just a second. So this clearly isn't sounding trippy or dark like any of Travis's songs. So to get there and get that atmosphere that we want, we're gonna go into the Synthopia Portal presets and grab this tape stretch effect. Now, if you listen to Highest in the Room, you can hear this eerie kind of synth vocal lead in the background of the melody, and it really adds to that trippy atmosphere that we want. So to recreate this, I went into the Synthopia Analog Lab Bank and I grabbed this lead called the Whistler. So now we've got a pretty decent foundation for our melody. We want to make sure not to add too much on top of this, because a big reason that Travis can use OZ's beats so easily is because there's enough space for his vocals on the beat. But to make it just a little bit more interesting without doing too much, we're going to go in and add some synth textures. And in Nick D's Escape Plan loop breakdown, we can see that he used a synth ARP for some nice analog ear candy.
The last thing I added was this arpeggio.
So to do something similar, I grabbed these synth runs from Synthopia, and to make them sound super trippy and weird, I messed with some analog delay, reversing, and even some chopping. Adding these ear-catching sounds really helps add to the whole atmosphere and give it that Travis Scott kind of sound. But now we really need to tie all of this together. So I grabbed this super thick synth bass from the Analog Lab Bank and laid down this pattern. That bass is disgusting. But now that we've finished our loop, we have one more thing that we have to do before adding those iconic OZ drums. This is a genius and super simple trick that OZ used on Escape Plan. He took the entire loop from Nick D and reversed it. Reversing this melody gave this beat a way more out of this world, psychedelic and chaotic kind of sound, which is perfect for Travis Scott. So now let's try it on our sample. Now, for arguably the most iconic part of OZ's production, those insanely bouncy drums. Finding a balance between unique and complex drums and simple and catchy drums is something that OZ has mastered. And a big part of that is not having weird, complex rhythms, but having great, unique sounds to use. So for this beat, I'm going to be using the sounds from the Synthopia drum kit, which is all made from real analog drum machines. So first, let's start with some bouncy hi-hats and a generic trap clap, just like the ones on Highest in the Room. She fill my mind up with ideas. Now let's do something similar. If you listen to the drums on Escape Plan, you can hear that there's two different open hats playing and kind of bouncing off of one another. So I've done something similar and I've got two hi-hats bouncing off of each other on this beat, and to enhance that bounce even a little bit more, I panned one left and one right. We've already got a nice bounce going, but Ozzy's unique percussion is what really sets him apart. One simple trick that you can use to get this unique kind of bounce in your beats is create all of the rhythm on one drum sound, like a snare, a clap, or a rim, and then after you've made your rhythm, change all the individual notes that you hit to different percussion sounds like this. Now we pretty much have all of the bounce that we need in this beat, so we just need to glue it all together with a hard-hitting kick in 808. Now that we got the drums done, we gotta go for the final test and see how a Travis Scott acapella sounds on this beat.
Figure state plan, that was the escape plan, but hate investigating, that shit was a waste, man, but wait, I stopped the facing, cause shit just started racing, but wait, it opened gates, and this shit just stopped parading, that old lady out the basement, on one floor where it's vacant, she feeling anxious to be out where it's dangerous, so get the body.
Now that's sounding crazy, but if you listen to a lot of Travis Scott, you know that he's infamous for having crazy beat switches, just like the one on Sicko Mode, and I'm gonna get into that side of Ozzy's production in a second, but first, if you've liked all of the sounds that I've used in this beat so far, every single one of them is from the new Synthtopia kit, which is this insane kit that combines over $117,000 worth of analog drum machines, analog synths, all into one crazy kit. It comes with loops, drums, one-shots, midis, presets, and so much more. It's crazy. So if you like the sound of real analog synths, but you don't want to spend thousands of dollars to collect every single one of them, don't sleep on the Synthtopia kit and just click the first link in the description down below. So, Travis Scott loves beat switches, and Sicko Mode is probably the most iconic song with beat switches that has come out in the past 5 years. The second beat on Sicko Mode was produced by OZ, and in my opinion, it is the craziest one on there.
Made this here with all the ice on in the booth. At the gate outside, when they pull up, they give me loose.
So now let's add a beat switch like Sicko Mode to our track. Make sure to stick around to the end of this one because it came out filthy. Now, the first part that sticks out to me in OZ's Sicko Mode beat is that super unique and gritty synth bass. So I went into the Synthtopia one-shot kit and grabbed this bass. Once I had this unique bass, I wanted to add a simple chord progression on top of it just to kind of fill out the melodic space of this beat. So I grabbed another crazy one-shot from Synthtopia and laid down these chords. This sounds okay already, but it doesn't really have that weird and trippy energy like Sicko Mode does. So I grabbed the Synthtopia portal bank and I added that tape stretch preset on top of the one-shot. Now it's sounding fire, but I wanted to take it one step further to get that more authentic OZ sound. So if you look at this clip of him producing the Sicko Mode beat, you can see that he chopped up the loop to give it a more kind of sampled feeling. So I took those synth chords that I had earlier and I chopped them up in audio, creating little silences in between each chord hit. And then to quickly finish up this melody, I just added 2 more synth one-shots to kind of accent and fill out the loop. But But now, my favorite part of the sicko mode beat are those crazy drums. If you listen to the drums, you can hear that the hi-hats are kind of moving left to right.
Made this here with all the ice on in the booth at the gate outside.
So I'm gonna do something similar by using this tremolo plugin on our hi-hats. The snare that Ozzy used on sicko mode was super unique. So to add that unique flavor to our beat, I actually grabbed 3 different snares from Synthopia and layered them all together to make something like this. Now, to tie these drums together again, we need to add that hard-hitting kick. To finish these drums off, I added one more open hat and a DJ scratch effect. And all together with the first beat and the Travis Scott acapella, this is what our finished OZ and Travis Scott track sounds like.
Trying to embarrass you, okay, I got a lavish, give me chase a rocket, did a dreamy, pixie trap, I'm not a rapper, lot I do, I'm lot at you, a film director, helter skelter, off the salsa like it's juice. Let's go.
If you like the sounds that I use in this beat, make sure to check out the Synthopia kit. It'll be the first link in the description down below. And if you want to watch me use 19 analog synths in one beat, click this video right here.